With you in West Hollywood, California. I'll just flip the camera for a second. We are standing on Crescent Heights, which is a famous street. It's kind of a north-south street here in West Hollywood, and that's how people get back and forth to the San Fernando Valley. And I'm going to be taking you to where the protests are happening right now, which are behind me there. It's very quiet here, but just wait as it lights up in front of the world-famous Laugh Factory. Now, important to note, I'm just switching the camera, that this being the United States of America, we're not supposed to have things that look like we're in Afghanistan at a war. And remember, language is very powerful. The way you describe something, the words you use. Sticks and stones may break your bones. Names will forever hurt you. Names make laws. Laws make policy. Policy makes punishment. So it's important to know that not only do words matter, but images matter. As they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, we're about to walk by a National Guard outpost. And again, the reason I said earlier, is this Afghanistan or America? You only see this kind of getup in a bona fide military situation where the goal is to kill people. And so I want you to pay attention to the image you see here in just a moment. You can start to see vaguely, but we'll get closer. You can see these guys here. As I said, is it America or Afghanistan? I'm going to widen out. We're going to walk by it. Somebody's yelling at me. At least it wasn't about me. So, note the troops. Now, they're not doing anything, but they're there. If that doesn't remind you, who's the boss? And that's the whole point. It's like having the mafia guy in a restaurant in New York City eating alone at his table as you walk by. It reminds you who's boss. So here they are. I mean, look at the... Maybe it's okay if you're a more conservative thinker, but I can tell you when my ancestors came here on the Mayflower, they did not, and specifically when my later ancestors signed the Declaration of Independence, they did not want the king to put troops against the people. Hey guys. Did not want the king to establish, always be nice to people with guns. Smartness 101. They did not intend forever, it's in the Constitution, that the president, that the Congress, that no branch of the government is allowed to use U.S. military against the civilian population. It can be called the Posse Comitatus Act. We can call it habeas corpus. It comes under a variety of different mantles. But this particular administration has an entirely different plot of the play that you got cast in without volunteering, without even auditioning. So let's just be clear on what is going on here. It's an extraordinary time, and I have to say, as an American, I'm very proud of my fellow Americans for showing up, waking up. I mean, here we all thought the whole public were just sort of lazy slobs. I mean, this is how we've been trained to think, that if you're not a good consumer, driving the right car, wearing the right clothes, and your ass is as big as the Kardashians, somehow you are deficient and defunct. We all think that that's who all of us are, and it is simply not true. We're actually seeing city by city, state by state, millions of Americans showing up because they are awake to the fact that any government overreach, whether it's the police that are an extension of the government, the police are not part of the civilian population in the same way. They're paid by the government. So let's talk to a few people here. Mind if we say hi quickly? Tell me a little bit about your sign here.
Again, this is in honor of Breonna Taylor, to honor her birthday and join the rally here to support justice for her case.
What brings you out today? I've noticed a lot of people are very young, which is a good thing. What is it that you know that white-haired senators in the Republican Party don't know?
Well, again, as an artist, I'm very involved. I'm a very involved artist dealing with normally domestic issues and labor issues, but in this case, again, lending my voice as an artist to a rally that I'd rather the focus be on, again, in this case, Breonna Taylor's open case that needs and demands justice to lock up the officers involved in her murder.
There are people who, believe it or not, won't have heard of this. So tell us just the quick upshot of what this case is about.
Again, a woman was murdered in her sleep. She was an EMT working actively to support lives under COVID, and there was a mistaken identity case, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that the cops that were involved in her murder have not been tried, and so regardless of what's going on in the globe, it's easy for a woman's case to be lost here, but Black lives matter, Black women's life matter, and Breonna Taylor's life matters.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Huh. I love it. A little bit of everyone, a little slice of the American pie, literally. Let's walk around and see what we see. What brings you out today? Obviously, you're out here for smart reasons, but tell me your connection to this.
I mean, I've just been very aware of what's been going on in the world with police brutality against people of color, and I just want to come here and show my support. I think it's just really important for everybody who supports it to demonstrate it, because, you know, you tell one person, they tell another, it all becomes a huge thing. So that's what I'm out here to do. I want to show my support to my friends, my family, and to anyone who sees it.
Does it seem like the civilian population, that would be everyone out here, the public, is finally getting fed up of sort of the establishment knee on their neck?
Oh yeah, everyone's fed up. This was a huge wake-up call for everybody. I mean, I think especially having two horrible police brutality crimes back to back, I mean, it was the tip of the iceberg, and it really woke everybody up. I think seeing that video as well, it was so graphic and just so unnecessary that of what they did. And I think, you know, seeing that firsthand and seeing, you know, you saw the entire thing. Nothing was cut. You saw the whole almost 9 minutes. Everyone was like, in those 9 minutes, you know, it was just so powerful. Everyone got to see 9 minutes of police brutality, you know, and the entirety, not just a story, not just a tiny little clip. It was the whole thing. We saw a man die, and that just stuck with everyone.
Probably the first time anybody has given their own last rites.
I'm sorry?
Probably the first time anyone has ever given their own last rites to themselves. You know, narrating their own death sentence, if you will. So, well, you must have a lot of friends out here, too, who see it the same way.
Yeah, my friend Mark is here with me. He and I, we both joined up together, and a lot of my friends, a lot of us have been splitting up and been going to a lot of different ones, really big protests, very small protests. And I know I've been meeting people I never met. I went on my neighborhood app, and I met people in my neighborhood. I was like, hey guys, we all live close to each other. Do you guys want to walk together to a small protest that's close to us? So I've been meeting people through this as well. And everyone's just banding together of all different colors and backgrounds.
There's a lot of people at home right now saying, well, how do I find out about these? All of you guys seem to know when and where it is. You said there's an app that might help people find out about it?
So I use the Nextdoor app to contact people, like organizing them and also asking, hey guys, you guys know where any of these are? Because a lot of them aren't really public. They're not like online. It's very difficult to find. And yeah, you can use Nextdoor app. Was helpful for me. And then also a lot of social media influencers are also posting, a list of other ones. Like in LA, I found out through this one through Instagram. And that's why my friend shared the post with me, and we came here because we saw it on Instagram, and so we came.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Keep it alive.
Thank you.
Look at this. People even get fed.
That should be fine.
Hi there. I
you
see
doing?
you're helping people eat who might be hungry.
Yeah. We're
So
with
is this a donation? or
this
how
is
does this
we're Dope Pizzeria down the ways from Sunset, and we just wanted to come out here and support everything that's going on with the movement here, and just that we stand behind it. And these people have been out here for so long, so we just want to make sure that they get fed.
I think that's important, that people don't think it's a bunch of sort of reckless civilians with no focus.
Right.
That people that own businesses too, that people that have jobs
Right.
feel that the what is being characterized as the sort of institutional knee on the neck of the public is being felt.
Right.
So
We're just all people here and we all have basic human rights and human needs, and one of those is needing to eat. You know what I mean? Do you want a slice?
sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, who turns away pizza?
I know, right?
Especially at a price you can afford, free.
Here you go, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, a little shout out for Dough. Is it Dough Boy or Dough? Dough Pizza. I can't really eat it and talk. I probably could. We're going to go grab a few more comments. I'm going to offer this to somebody. Would you like a piece of pizza?
I'm okay, thank you.
All right. I would eat it, but my hands are full. Do you mind saying hi for a second? We're just talking to people around here who have shown up, and tell us the passion you have for showing up here today.
We are supporting the Black Lives Matter movement today. That's my only comment.
A lot of people think, well, it's just black people supporting the blacks, but looking at you, I'm thinking that's not the case.
No, I think pretty much every skin color is out here today.
Los Angeles is a wonderfully polyglot city. It's a multicultural place, and
Interesting name. Yeah, I've never heard that word before. What does KPFK stand for?
it stands for K, which is the prefix for radio and TV stations on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
PFK stands for Pacifica, which means pacifism, and we're the oldest public radio station west of the Mississippi, 1959.
Wow.
So we're really on the side of the humans and always have been. And that's why I'm out here today as the, I suppose, single piece of media. So glad to be here, and thanks
Yeah.
for saying hi.
Anytime. Black Lives Matter.
Stay well.
Thank you.
All right, as we walk around, I think we should find a person of color here to talk to. That would kind of make sense. Hi there. Mind if I say hi quickly? Would like to know what brings you, I mean, obviously we know what brings you out today, but I have to ask that question. What brings you out today?
Well, racism is so old. I mean, when's it going to end? I mean, we work to get rid of coronavirus a lot, but we don't work to end racism when racism is as much of a blight as the coronavirus is.
Does it surprise you to see so many different faces here? I mean, we're maybe some of the media is portraying it as, well, it's a black thing, it's a black thing. But it seems to be a whole human thing, and from what I see out here, there's a whole lot of different humans out here supporting why you're here.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled that so many of them are so young, that there's so many people from all different walks of life and all skin colors and ethnicities, but especially that they're young, because young people have traditionally been not so engaged. We can't get them to vote, and so hopefully this will, because the voting, it may seem like, oh, yeah, really, that's all we need to do is go vote. It needs to be a lot more than that, obviously, but voting is the first and foremost thing. Like somebody said, if you have a car without wheels, then you're not going to get anywhere, and voting is it's the wheels of the car. So hopefully all these energized people will remember to do something about it in November.
You know, it will make a difference. We saw a great example. We all remember Judge Roy Moore of Alabama. There's a superhero for you. And he was defeated because 97% of African American women showed up in Alabama and voted. Strength in numbers overwhelmed all the Jim Crow, all the corruption, all the vote theft, and he went away. So if people voting in the un-Black Lives Matter against that, as a matter of fact, that sort of thinking and that part of the Senate and that part of the White House could be defeated. You've probably seen in your lifetimes things make a difference when people vote.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's not like racism started with the current occupant of the White House, but he, you know.
Saying his name is just difficult.
Well, and I think it was Angela Davis who was talking about it the other day, how the African ancestors really believe that words are powerful, and to use words gives power. It puts out a certain force. And so every time you say his name, it just gives him more force. And it was the first time I heard something that made me get it. Like, yeah, because a lot of people have been not able to say his name. You know, they call him all kinds of different things. Moron comes to mind.
My friend Greg Pallas refers to him as Agent Orange.
Right. The best one I read recently was Fuckface von Clownstick. and Herr Fuhrer.
Well, nice to have a little humor amidst all of this. Thank you for saying hi to everyone.
Thank you for the chat.
Thank you. We're taking a look at obviously what's going on here live. It's hard to see how many people, but if you look to the left of this building, the line goes all the way down the road, and to the right here is the world-famous Laugh Factory. So this is a landmark corner here, Sunset and Laurel Canyon Boulevard. This is where every comic performs, you know, once a year. I think right now they have Seinfeld. There's George Floyd is up on the sign. Black Lives Matter. You can see that illuminated. So this is a very important intersection. Sort of the heart and soul of where Los Angeles meets West Hollywood, Beverly Hills down in this direction, down Sunset Boulevard. That's heading west. If you go straight down Sunset Boulevard all the way in this direction, west, in the opposite direction of the cars coming at us right now, you end up at the Pacific Ocean. You end up in Santa Monica. So Sunset Boulevard, because the sunset happens in this direction. I'm shaking the camera here. And then this way, if you take Sunset all the way to its physical end, takes you quite close to downtown. Then you have to jump on a couple of other roads, but it's a big east-west thoroughfare. So we're going to walk a little bit more through the crowd here, and then we'll nab a piece of pizza before it's all gone. Let's take a look at the crowds here. Totally well behaved, totally quiet. Doesn't this make you proud? It makes me proud. My ancestors landed on Provincetown in Cape Cod, 1620, got off the Mayflower, said, you know, F the king, never have to deal with that crap again. not knowing that here we have troops going against us. But you'll notice conspicuously missing right now is police presence. We saw National Guards and guys with machine guns about a block behind, but they're not here in front of us because I think this is working. I think people are waking up. I think the National Guard and others feel like they're part of this movement in whatever ways they're allowed to express. So it's actually working. It's actually working. And just today in Minnesota, here in California, our own Governor Newsome got up, and chokeholds are now forbidden. Training of chokeholds now forbidden in the state of Minnesota. Any kind of neck or head play is forbidden. It doesn't mean everything changes, but it means incrementally this is working. So you're actually seeing a live movement that's effective. It's pretty extraordinary. All right, we're going to come back to you a little later. Time for a little pizza.